Young, back again for another edition of That Ain't My Daddy. For those of you that do not know me, my name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see. And when I say see, I mean people that believe in debt and credit, believe they need it to survive. They live in what I call the debt matrix. The debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in debt and credit and believes they need it, believes they can't survive without it. This is where they live. Okay? How do I know this? Because I once lived there. Now that I became debt free, I no longer live there. I now understand that money is spoken in two languages, debt and debt free. If you've been in debt all your life, I promise you this as God as my witness. You only speak debt. You have no idea the language of debt free even exists. And you have no reason to believe it exists because you don't know anything outside of debt. It sounds harsh, but it's true. Why? Because I live there. Now that I'm out of there, we speak very differently when it comes to money, and it's obvious. None of this is hidden. And what I'm going to tell you is only fifth grade math. That's the worst part about it. It's only fifth grade math. It's insulting, honestly. It really is. But anybody can be wealthy. Anybody can be rich. I remember hearing that when I was in debt. Hey, you just got to believe, and you can believe you're wealthy. No, debt was holding me back from believing. Now that I'm out of debt, I clearly see anybody can become wealthy. Anybody. It's in your face every day. Microsoft making billions, Amazon making billions, Tesla billions. They're telling you that it's possible. They're right in your face. But if you just don't believe you can do that, you just don't believe you can do that. I believe I can do that. I'm going to do that. But you understand, once you understand money, it's not even about the money. You know what true wealth is? Owning the time in your life. The more you sell, the less you own. You see how I put that? It's owning the time in your life. The more you own, the more you can do anything you wish. The more you sell, the less you own. It's that simple. And then by a byproduct of owning your own time, money comes. That's why they call it currency. You draw it to you. You don't chase it. You draw it to you. Now, by showing you what I'm telling you, and I can prove everything I'm saying to you, okay? This is not a belief that I'm telling you. I can prove it. I can prove it with math. And half the people still won't believe it. This is how powerful this is, people. This is how powerful it is. I can prove it. People will look right at it and go, I still don't believe it. What else do you do from there? Nothing. That's why the banks aren't evil. It's a choice. The banks understand it's just math. It's nothing personal. It sounds harsh to a person that's in debt because people in debt involve their feelings. When you take your feelings out of it and understand it's just math, you understand, you get it. Let me give you an idea. For those of you that have been in debt all your life, let me tell you how it sounds when you put your feelings into money. This is how it sounds, okay? What if I said this to you? Hey, you know what? I really feel like, really deep down in my heart, I really feel like 1 + 1 should equal 3. You know, Christmas is coming and Easter and my kids need clothes, you know, and it makes me feel like 1 + 1 should equal 3. It would make me feel so much better. How would you look at me? You would look at me like, why are you saying all that stuff like Christmas and your kids and children? You'd be like, why are you saying that? That doesn't change the fact that 1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't matter. That's the exact same thing. That's how it is. So when you get to Christmas and you don't have any money to buy the kids presents, so you say, screw it, I'm gonna use the credit card. That's what it is. You're doing it because of your feeling. Your feeling doesn't change the fact that you didn't save money for Christmas or save money for your college kids to go to college. Your feeling about that doesn't change the fact that's the exact same thing of me saying I feel like 1 plus 1 should equal 3. That's the exact same thing. It's no different. The math never changes. Anyway, let's get to the topic of this video. I'm going to show you through debt-free eyes what you're doing in real life when you go to finance a car. This is what you're doing. You can't see any of this when you're in debt. But what I'm telling you, all you got to do is check the math and see if the math, if my math is right, it's right. So whatever I'm saying, don't take my word for it. Always remember, because math says so. I didn't invent math, especially 5th grade math. I didn't invent it. Okay. The moment you step on a car lot and crack your lips to the word finance, they already have you. I'll tell you why. You're financing because what? You have no money. That's the only reason why you're financing, because you have no money of your own to buy it. It's that simple. Nothing personal. Why? Because math says so. Don't get mad. It's not me, it's math. When they run your credit, there's 3 different credit bureaus with 3 different scores and only one of you. Does that make sense to you? No? It makes sense to the bank. CENTS, sense to the bank. If it doesn't make financial sense, it doesn't make sense to you. It makes sense to the bank. It's designed to keep you confused and in debt. That's mathematically impossible, yet nobody ever questions it. That's what we see. When you're debt-free, that's what you see. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes money sense, but not for you. It's all a choice. Why? Because math says so. When you go into the place to buy the car, right? You're sitting down with the salesman, and then they go to run your credit, okay? And you're just sitting there crossing your fingers that hope you get attached to this new debt, right? Say like you checked your credit score and on TransUnion was the highest, okay? Say like out of all 3 of your credit scores, TransUnion was the highest. Can you walk in there and say, hey, when you run my credit, make sure you use the TransUnion credit score? Have you ever done that? Have you ever even thought of doing that? Probably not, right? And you probably think to yourself, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. It makes sense to the bank, not to you. You know why? Because math says so. Never thought of that, huh? How do you know that not out of the 3 scores, maybe they're choosing the lowest so they can charge you the highest interest rate? Have you ever thought about that? Probably not. That don't make no sense, huh? Yes, it does. It makes sense to the bank. I get it. And I'm not hating on the bank. What's the job of the banks? To make money. Not friends. Not school buddies teaching people about math. They make money. So don't be mad. It's a choice. When people finance cars, say like somebody just financed a brand new $70,000 Cadillac Escalade. People in debt, they love to go around and tell other people how much this car costs, like they paid for it in cash. Why did they do that? I have no idea. Doesn't make any sense at all. They didn't pay that. They barely have even money to put it down, but yet they tell everybody how much the car costs like they paid cash. Only people in debt do that. You know why? Because math says so. And when they tell you the price, right? Why did they not include tax? Did they not pay the tax? Ain't that tax evasion? Why do people not include tax like they didn't pay it? I don't know. But they did. So, and when you sign on the dotted line, now mostly people that are in debt, when they're already financing a car, right? All they are looking for is the lowest payment possible. So they don't care how many months it goes out. It doesn't matter. As long as that monthly payment is in within their range. That's all they care about, really, right? This is what you're doing when you sign on the dotted line. You're saying, say like you signed up for an 84-month payment plan, which is financial insanity. But all you care about is the monthly payment. When you sign on the dotted line, this is what you're saying. Bank, I promise you for the next 84 months, money that I haven't even made yet. It's future earnings. It doesn't even exist yet. But when I spend the time in my life to get it, I promise it to you. As soon as I sign here, so I can get that depreciating object with interest. I sign away my future earnings to you for it. That's how much I want that. This worthless piece of worthless stuff. And then you sign away. And since you didn't have the money to buy the car, you get taxed on $70,000 of money that you haven't even made. It doesn't even exist. And you're getting taxed on it. You're paying tax on money that doesn't even exist. Your future earnings plus the price of this depreciating object with interest. You're getting taxed on money that doesn't even exist until you pay for it with the time in your life. That's the only time it exists. The more you sell, the less you own. Wealthy is owning the time in your life. And you keep doing that, you will never become wealthy, ever. It's mathematically impossible. And it's only fifth grade math impossible. Now, for the next 84 months, you are handcuffed to your job that you may or may not like. You're handcuffed to it, the bank, and the car for 84 months. What you guys don't understand, this is what you don't see when you do stuff like that, right? When people get jobs, they start to take them personally. The business knows it's a business, but if you take that working there personally, you're messing up. You're messing up because you're taking it personally, and it's nothing to do with personal. It's business. And you know what you're telling your job when you pull up with a brand new finance car? You know what you're telling your job? If I was a business owner, you telling me that I know you're going to be here for at least the next 5 years, as long as you have that car. Why? Because you're attached to it now. You have to make payments. You signed away your future earnings. That's why you're financing it. Listen, you're financing it because you don't have the money. But instead of understanding that, you're giving away your future earnings without even knowing it, and you're going to pay with it with the time in your life to earn the money to pay for this. That's something that doesn't even exist. Do you get it? You see how it works? That's how it works. The money doesn't even exist. You haven't earned it, so it doesn't exist. But you're financing something that really doesn't exist, and you're paying taxes on money that doesn't even exist. See how that works? This seems so obvious to me right now. It seems so obvious. How come I did not see that? I don't know. But if you want to become wealthy, I'm going to tell you guys the price tag of becoming wealthy. This is how you're going to do it. This is the answer. Add up every dime you owe on anything on earth. Add it up. Don't be in denial about anything. Step out the debt matrix. A house is debt. Student loan is debt. Whether you believe if you're going to pay it off or not, that's irrelevant. Add it up. Look at that number. Sit on it for about a week. Just drive it around in your head. Knowing the exact number in your head. I mean, down to the penny. Down to the penny. Ride around with it for a week. Ask 10 or 20 of your friends. Ask them, do they know the amount of debt? do they have? And see how many guess and see how many say, I don't know. And understand how rare that is, that you just know the amount of your debt you have. I want you to feel how rare that is, just to know how much debt you have. Whatever that debt amount is, that's your ticket to freedom. If you don't pay that off, you will never be financially free, ever. You will never be wealthy. When I say wealthy, owning the time in your life. Why? Because you will always owe it to somebody else because you have debt. So you will never become wealthy as long as you have debt. If you believe you can never pay off that number that you add up, you will never be wealthy. It's mathematically impossible. Now, when you're debt-free, I'm gonna tell you how a debt-free person buys a car, myself. Number one, I don't care what current market rates are and all this other stuff. Hey, this car is worth that. This car is worth this. I don't care. That means absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. Blue book value and all that crap, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I don't look up blue book value of anything does not apply to me. That only applies to people that live in the debt matrix. When you're out of debt, like myself, if 85% of America are in debt, that means there's an 85% chance that somebody's selling something because they need the money. This is where I come in. I have an 85% chance that I'll probably get 85% off of that deal. Because why? They want to get out of it. The bank doesn't want it. So they're going to give it to me for the cash I have. That's how they're going to give it to me. The bank doesn't want depreciating objects. They want to get that off the books fast as they possibly can. This person just want out of payments because why? They got themselves in debt and credit trouble. Here I come in and buy it for a quarter of the price. That's it. I use it for as long as I want, and guess what? I'm going to get blue book value to the other people in the debt mix. So when I sell it, then it's worth blue book value. Why? Because I've used it up probably up to that point. So it's still that worth that much blue book because I don't pay blue book value, so I'm getting it way down here. So I'm using. It probably finally catch up to whatever the blue book value is to the people in the debt matrix, and then I sell it like I used it for free. See how that works? I'll tell you one more. When you're debt free, you can live anywhere in the world you want, no matter how much it costs, wherever it's at. Because as long as there's people that believe they're homeowners with 30-year mortgages, there will always be a place wherever I want to live, anywhere. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Anywhere I want to live, there will always be available. Why? Because there are people with 30-year mortgages. And if they're banking on nothing's going to happen to them in 30 years in their financial life, they're highly mistaken. See how that works? And it's just fifth grade math. That's what's so crazy about it. It's fifth grade math. So I had a guy that had a request for me to do a video for him. So if you guys like what you hear, or if I'm not explaining something right, or maybe you see something that a bank is offering, but you don't really understand the lingo, I will tell you the truth of what it says. And then I'll make a video on it of why it is. Because remember, if you come across something and it doesn't make financial sense, that's a hint. I call that a glitch in the matrix. That's going to tell you something. It doesn't make sense because it makes sense for the bank. If it doesn't make financial sense for you, it makes financial sense for the bank. There's a reason. It's that simple. I promise you. All right, you guys have a good one.